It's Friday, February 10th, and we've got stories about D&D, AMC theaters, and unfortunately, one about Ezra Miller.
When you're up and down and you're over and out, come listen to your friend Stephen Brown. This is the show with Stephen.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Welcome to the show. If you're new here, my name is Stevie B. I'm your host, aka Daddy Cool, aka about to kick it old school for you real quick. Instead of a single targeted video this week, we are doing it like in the old days. I've got a couple of headlines from this week I want to talk to you about. First up this week, indie publishers of tabletop game sales have exponentially risen through the roof because of the D&D blunder that Wizards of the Coast pulled off, trying to monetize the game and stop people from making podcasts and self-made content and things like that around their game, Dungeons & Dragons. Magpie Games co-founder and CEO Mark Diaz-Truman told Polygon, "Us indie designers have spent the last 20 years trying to get D&D fans to try something different. And Wizards of the Coast gets it done in a month." Now, I'm a huge fan of Magic the Gathering, but Wizards of the Coast has had some predatory practices in the past involving Magic, and it just makes sense. They're hemorrhaging money. They're trying to figure out how to make more money. They're working on their MTG Arena game mainly, and now they're trying to figure out how to capitalize on their most prevalent property, which is Dungeons & Dragons, which we are getting that film some point later in the year. To no one's surprise, Hogwarts Legacy is getting rave reviews. Everyone's saying that it looks great. GamerRanks, ACG, Arcade Game Room, whatever. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. You can't really trust IGN, but there you go. Games Radar, 3.5 out of 5 stars, and Metacritic, it's sitting at an 85. So, suck it. Netflix announces an animated series called Agent Elvis with Matthew McConaughey voicing and playing the titular Elvis Presley as some kind of James Bond secret spy. Seems a little funny, a little goofy, a little weird. I'll check it out. I'm not a fan of these some of these adult animated series that are a little more serious or have like a plot-driven thing. They tend not to go over too well, but I'll give it a try. All right, I've got a list here of all the games coming out this month that I'm personally interested in. Let's take a look at Deliver Us Mars. Comes out February 2nd, a sequel to the Deliver Us to the Moon, which I haven't played the first one. This game looks interesting. I'd like to try it out. We also have Hogwarts Legacy, of course, coming out February 10th. I know that it is not out on last gen. I only have PS4. I'm a PS5. It comes out, I believe, in April on the PS4. I'm going to see about getting a PS5 as soon as possible, but I'm going to have to wait a while so I can get this game. Atomic Heart, February 21st. This looks a lot like BioShock. I couldn't find anything online stating whether it was inspired by or not, but it looks very BioShock to me, but looks very fun. Probably the biggest game for me this month, which I don't know when I'll be able to pick it up, and I would love to do a Let's Play on the channel, is Like a Dragon Ishin. I did not finish Like a Dragon Yakuza, the first in this series, which is a spinoff of the Yakuza series by Sega. Like a Dragon Yakuza was amazing. I was playing it on the PlayStation Plus membership, where you're allowed to download the category of games or stream them and stuff like that. Didn't finish the game before I gave up my subscription. Couldn't afford to re-up it, but, you know, one day, hopefully, I can go back and finish it. If I can't get it done within a year, I'll probably have to restart the game. I hate restarting games, though, but I can't just go back and pretend like I know exactly what happened if I don't remember. I've got to do it within a certain amount of time, you know? We also have Blood Bowl 3, which is another big one for me. I love Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl 3 is coming out February 23rd. Blood Bowl is based off of 40K Warhammer. If you haven't played these games, you need to try it out. 2 is on the PS4 and whatever, I don't know the X, I can never remember what the Xboxes are, whatever the current last gen Xbox is. And Blood Bowl 1, I believe back in the day, was Xbox 360. I had it on back in that generation. Great games based off tabletop games, which are spin-off of 40K Warhammer. You got to check it out. We also have Company of Heroes 3 coming out February 23rd. I've never played a Company of Heroes games, but I love real-time strategy. I love Total War, stuff like that. I would love to play this sometime. I have a good computer I can play it on as well. Let's see. And Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, February 24th, looks awesome to me. I used to play a lot of Dreamland Kirby on the on the Game Boy back in the day when I was a kid. Absolutely love this game. I played whatever the remaster or redo, whatever they want to call the version of that was on DS as well. And they have new character and new levels for the new one coming to Switch, and it just looks like so much fun. I really want to play it. AMC is charging extra money per seat to sit in the middle as opposed to the front row or the back row, calling this the Sightline seating feature on their app, where, yes, if you have more money, you can sit in better seats. And what this is going to do, what people are talking about, we're worried about, which Elijah Wood had a very good take on this on Twitter, which, why not, let's throw up his tweet up here, that this is going to create a classist system where you have the poor people sitting in the front row where they can only afford to sit in the front row, breaking their necks, and the rich fat cat sitting right in the middle. At this year's Grammys, Assassin's Creed Valhalla won Best Game Soundtrack in the first ever video game soundtrack, or score soundtrack, category win. The first time video games are getting this category in the Grammys, I assume, moving forward. And of course, Valhalla won it because we all remember Assassin's Creed for its music, right? That boring show, that 90s show, my bad, was renewed for season 2. Clearly, whoever bankrolled this show at Netflix didn't watch it, and they're hoping that it will carry itself on name alone. I did not finish the first season. I'm going to get around to it, but it was a show that me and my girlfriend watched together. She fell asleep about three episodes in, and I watched a couple more episodes without her while I let her sleep for an hour or so, and haven't gone back to it, and I know we're not going to watch it together, so I have to find time for it myself, which means probably won't get done. Star Wars Visions Volume 2 is coming May 4th, which is super, super awesome. It's one of the better things coming out of Disney Star Wars, or Disney period. I really like the first Visions, excited to see the second one. Hulu has announced that it is bringing back King of the Hill. It was slated as a reboot. It's not really a reboot as far as I know. It's going to be picking up where it left off with the original cast from 97 to 2010 playing the same characters, which is awesome. Love to see it. James Gunn was asked about Ezra Miller's future as The Flash at a press event, and he said, let's see what happens. Listen, Ezra is fully committed to their recovery right now, and we talk to them. We're in constant contact, but when the time is right, we'll have the conversation with them and decide what's best for both them personally and also for us, being DC. Now, obviously here, James Gunn has to say this so that he doesn't get sued as a new CEO. He doesn't want to hurt the company, hurt himself, a permanent position. He can't publicly outright come and say that Ezra Miller is a fucking freak, a monster, a terrorizer, and a scourge against humanity. But I'm sure that, he probably feels that way. But I've seen a lot of people upset with James Gunn for him, standing by Ezra Miller right here. He's not really standing by him. It's just legally, as the head of a company, he can't come out and say that Ezra Miller is out. But I'm sure that after The Flash, that Ezra Miller, the new film, The Flash, that Ezra Miller will not be playing The Flash anymore in any subsequent sequels in this new DCU timeline they're doing. And God hope not, because he's a madman. I think Ezra Miller should be a wrestler or something. He should be, in a steel cage, beating up little ladies, screaming, I'm the bad man! Also him, he, not they, them. We're not going to respect his pronouns because he clearly uses them as a weapon to get what he wants and to be a monster. He's just a monster, dude. Come on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and listening to this week's stories. If you're wondering why the costume change here really quick, I was editing the video and lost the last couple clips, and I have to re-record them now a couple hours later. It's so annoying. I don't know why. I record on a phone, so it's shitty. I don't. That's all I got right now. But hope you guys liked this video. If you enjoyed it, consider liking and subscribing. It means a lot to me. It really does. We're at 75 subscribers, trying to get to 100. Hopefully, I'm saying for this year, but it's only February, so I'm hoping we can get to 100, well before that. Also, if you didn't like what you heard, I really appreciate you hanging out and listening. I really appreciate you listening to an opinion that's different than your own. If you hated what you heard, I think you should go stick your own foot up your own ass. Get bent.
The show is over, but you're still here hanging around. Why don't you hit subscribe?